My name is Sheriff Swanson, Genesee County. Welcome to another weekly update. We're going to talk about these three individuals in a very disturbing case. We're going to give you some weather update drills, and we're also going to tell you about the reading contest, but this is why it's so important for us to do these stories. They are disturbing to the point that it's going to invoke an emotion. It's probably going to make those out there, as it does me, angry about people that don't care for people and animals, and you have death involved. Starvation of animals, neglect of children. This case has it all. This is a case involving three individuals that were living in a house in the city of Flint on Mabel Avenue, and the AT&T workers that were doing work right outside that house noticed there was a manhole cover that was lifted, and they saw that there was $30,000 worth of Wi-Fi wire cut and stolen from the project. And when deputies showed up and they found the wire, that was just the first part. They saw the conditions of the house. They saw a dead dog, and viewer discretion advised. A dead dog right out front in a cage next to a live dog. If you look a little farther, you'll see inside the house that these dogs were not only ones that were alive, emaciated, they hadn't eaten in weeks, and there was no water there. They looked a little farther. There was a puppy that was alive and another one that was dead in a pizza box. You don't treat animals this way. You don't treat people this way. The house was so deplorable. Inside the refrigerator that had no power and had rotted food inside and had conditions that were so bad that nobody should have even been living there, was a 9-year-old boy. 3 adults, 2 dead dogs, 2 emaciated dogs, and a 9-year-old boy. Sheriff detectives responded, started putting the scene together, recovered the property, saved the other 2 dogs, and was able to work with Child Protective Services in order to get that 9-year-old a safe place to live. So who's responsible? Charles Ashbaker. This is a 38-year-old man from Flint, Michigan, who's now in jail and charged with multiple felonies to include animal abuse, neglect, and torture, felony firearm, drug possession, among other felonies. We work hand in hand with Prosecutor Layton to make sure that these individuals are charged as much as we possibly can and let the system take it from there. He's in jail right now on a $50,000 cash bond. This female was arrested. Another adult in the house that could have made a decision to call for help, but chose not to. This is Kelly Walker, a 29-year-old female, lodged in jail on a cash bond, charged with animal abuse, neglect, and torture, and child abuse, as well as the third subject that I showed you. This subject right here, Dougal Nelson, a 47-year-old man from Flint. He resisted law enforcement when the detectives were there. As Detective Walker was interviewing him, he fought. These are the individuals that could have at any point called 911 and says, I can't take care of my dogs. I can't take care of this child. That's all we're asking. We do this so it allows people that are out there seeing things like AT&T workers, thank you, and others that are knocking on doors, whether it's FedEx or UPS or Amazon, you're seeing these things. Call 911. But if you're in a position where you can't take care of your children or your animals, don't treat them in the way that you see in this case, because we're going to come for you. We're going to hold you accountable. So these 3 individuals, put their pictures up once again. These 3 individuals, these are individuals that are going to be held accountable by the system. And the system will make sure that we don't just put them back where they can go pick up where they left off, but we're going to hold them to the point where they're going to have to answer for their actions. And those 2 dogs, the adult and the puppy, they're at animal control. And we have other advocates that are out there. These are my friends, Jack and Susan Pat, that were part of the Adopt a Pet fundraiser. And some time ago, I donated, having some time with the sheriff, and you came to Adopt a Pet because you believe in the rescue of animals and the healthy placement of them in homes. Why do you support, and what does this case mean to somebody like you?
First of all, it's highly disturbing on many, many levels. I can't even fathom, the boy that was there, and then these dogs and the torture that all of them, quite frankly, the boy and the dogs received. Adults need to be adult and take care of, whether it's children, animals. Animals can't speak out for themselves. And that's why organizations like Adopt a Pet are so important in communities.
And that's why we as the Sheriff's Office constantly put out that if you're going to beat, starve, and torture an animal to death, it's just a matter of time before you do it to a human. And we saw that here, neglect of animals, neglect of a child, neglect of a house. And so we just want to say thank you for being a supporter of Adopt a Pet. Thank you to the Humane Society, Animal Control, all those in the animal world, because it's people like you that want to give to keep this from happening. One final question, Jeff. Why is it important for us to tell these stories? They are disturbing. You just said it. But we put this out. We give disclaimers. Why is that message so important?
It's important to get more people involved, people like us who are passionate, that want to find a philanthropy to give to. So it's great to hear these stories to get people rallied around it.
We want to invoke emotion because if you want to give to Animal Control, Humane Society, or Adopt a Pet, there's ways to do that. If somebody wanted to give to Adopt a Pet and be a part of it, what's the best way to do that?
Just contact them. I mean, there's web addresses that you can, or go to their location, which is in Fenton, Michigan.
So we do want to say thank you. We have two more things on the story. I appreciate your support of protecting our animals and the Sheriff's Office. One other thing that we're going to talk about, just as a lighter note, and then we're going to end on our reading contest, is you're going to have a tornado drill starting today at 1 o'clock countywide. You know, one thing people may not know, that the sheriff of Genesee County is also the emergency manager of the whole county. So we have our own emergency manager division. We work with 911, who triggers all of those sirens you will see and hear here at 1 o'clock today. And I want to remind you that we are going into the tornado and thunderstorm season. When these two fronts meet, a lot of bad things can happen. Sometimes that window is only 10 to 15 minutes. You may hear about a storm coming, but I understand the busyness of life. You get distracted. Can I tell you, when those sirens go off, it's not a suggestion. Let me teach you between a tornado watch and a warning. Many times a watch is just the conditions that one would have that you could identify could develop into a tornado, a twister of some sort. But a tornado warning is, we have spotters and volunteers that are out there all the time. You may be watching now. They go out there and they spot funnel clouds. And when they see a funnel cloud forming, that's the difference between a watch and a warning. And if you're in the pathway of a tornado warning, take shelter immediately. That's not the time to get your phone out and take a great video. That is to go to the lowest part of your house, to go into an interior room, into a bathtub, go someplace where there's cover. If you can search back and see what tornado damage is around the country, even in the last 2 weeks, devastating and deadly. That's why we do our testing. Again, tornado watches, be aware, it can happen. Tornado warnings, if you're in the path, take shelter now. Listen to our local media. They know and they track this by the second. Very important. The third and final thing we're going to talk about is something that is very exciting to me. And March is Reading Month across the country. And what we've done with Ignite and literacy, and what we're going to do at Oxford in England just in a few weeks with the World Literacy Foundation. When we started this 5 years ago, and I partnered with schools across the county, we thought, you know what better way to help schools and principals and students and staff and parents than to incentivize reading. And so we started the Sheriff Swanson. It was the Pizza Party Extravaganza. We've made it even bigger. This is a Sheriff Swanson Reading Month Extravaganza. So we started it just a week or so ago, and we've already got some mega progress. Can I tell you, they've already, between the schools, read well over 1 million pages already, just in a little over a week. And then we're going to talk about some third places here. Third places in the Kearsley School District is Dowdle Elementary at 227,856 pages. So you are in third place as of now. Second place is Randall's Elementary from the Carmen School District, 302,291 pages. But our first place that's running away with it again is, again, in the Carmen School District at the 421,000 pages, Dye Elementary. Now, there's some people that are coming up that are nipping at the heels. We've got Flint Cultural Academy. They're at 125,000 pages. Rankin Elementary, 131. Haas Elementary in the Genesee School District at 199,000 pages. Can you just do the math in those schools right there? And we've got 15 participants. We're going to make sure every school is recognized. Of course, the The top school will get $1,000 from this office. The second will get $500 and then $250. It goes right to the principal to use to incentivize their staff, and it's for the staff. This contest ends the ends of March, in March 28th. It's all over. We'll have millions and millions of pages read by then. So just encourage, if you're part of the 15 schools that are doing this, the elementary schools in Genesee County, that the contest is ending soon. So do your best to win one of those prizes. And thank you again to all the students and the teachers and the staff to make it work. Again, I know the first part of this briefing was disturbing, but we do that to send a message. And wait for those sirens. They'll be on shortly. And always remember and protect and give some good love to your students, your staff, and your teachers today when you pick your kids up from schools. Be safe. Talk to you soon.